Hi folks, I'm Matt and welcome to My Expanding Universe, a show where I go through the entire EU in chronological order as best I know how. Folks, we're continuing talking about the Star Wars X-Wing Rogue Squadron comic book. And this time we're going to go over the next 4 issues, issues 17 through 20. Now, of course, Michael Stackpole is still writing the series at this point, and they bring back guest writer Jan Stranad, to help Michael Stackpole out. And they come up with the most insane storyline ever imagined. Listen to this. So in these 4 issues, basically the Rogues go on a mission to rescue Bothans who were on a cruiser, and they crash on the dangerous planet of Melrav 4. But these Bothans just aren't who you think they are. In fact, they're evil people. Ah ha ha ha. And if I remember right, they're practicing Sith magic, and it gets really weird where some dude hand pops off of his, is not a robot, just magically you see some magic dust around it and just pops off and it starts choking a guy. It's kind of Evil Dead comical for a moment there. Delur, the Celestian who is on Rogue Squadron, gets captured by them. He's a little force sensitive, and so they're torturing him. He's mind linking with his friend Harrion, and they are on, she's still with Rogue Squadron, and he's trying to contact her about, hey, we need to stop these people. And it is just insane. I have no idea what they were smoking. In fact, this is by far the worst X-Wing story arc of them all. I mean, everything went off the rails. Sith magic, the way they were dealing with things, how I hate that almost everyone has the Force. Not everyone, but both of these pilots did anyway. They had a little bit of it. And it just didn't feel like Rogue Squadron at all. In fact, it felt like some weird fantasy novel. Almost didn't feel like Star Wars for a bit. In fact, I had to check the front cover to make sure Stackpole wrote this, because in my opinion, it was horrible. I mean, it's honestly, it could even go as one of the worst, lowest points in Dark Horse comic books, to be honest. I mean, it really is bad. And for a series that's been pretty good so far, I mean, yeah, the Warrior Princess story arc, it took a step down in my opinion. But this one, it was like, bleh, you know, it just throw up everywhere. I did not like it at all. The whole time I was going, what is going on? This is not what, it's like having I don't know how to explain it, a Magnum PI series that takes place in space. Magnum PI gets shot on a rocket and he has to solve a crime on Mars or something. It's like, this is so out of character for Rogue Squadron. Don't do this type of stuff. And it was just a terrible storyline to begin with, and totally confusing too. You didn't even know what was going on. At first, what started as a regular mission ends up like this? What? Whose idea was this? Who thought it would be a great idea? I don't know. I think it just strayed so far away from the actual storyline or the regular storylines we enjoy that it was just so weird. Now, thankfully, this was the low point of X-Wing Rogue Squadron. It doesn't get any lower. It couldn't possibly get any lower than this. But, and I guess spoilers, I don't really care at this point, but Harrion, through the instructions of Delor, who's speaking to her through the Force, crashes her X-Wing into the temple, blowing them all up and killing them all. The Rogues fly off. They're all happy. They won the day. They're sad they lost 2 of their pilots. And at the end, you see them both with their arms around each other watching X-Wing Rogue Squadron fly away. They're Force Ghost, because everyone's a Force Ghost now. Now, don't get me started on why is everyone a Force Ghost? Didn't they have to learn that trait through Qui-Gon? Remember, the prequels hadn't come out at this point, and Force Ghost stuff has always been kind of iffy in the Star Wars universe. Like, what qualifies you to be a Force Ghost? No one knows. And back then they thought, okay, if you die, because the only Jedi they saw die came back as Force Ghost, so they must be Force Ghosts now. It was bad. It was bad all around. I want to go back to what I said in an earlier video, that you still don't care about these characters. So Stackpole is killing them off, replacing them with more characters that you still don't love and still have no connection to, and that was a real problem with the series. Like I said, outside of West, Tycho, and Wedge, you really didn't care about anyone else in the series. And when they killed off pilots, whereas in the books, when they would kill off pilots, I don't know about you, but I'd be like, oh no, I can't believe they did that. But here you're like, okay, well maybe we'll get someone better. Better luck next time. Maybe we'll get someone that's interesting on the team. I just don't think they ever got to that point. I don't understand why that is. Now again, this could just be me. Maybe I was giving the comic book, setting up on too high a bar that it could never pass. But like I said, I did enjoy the first couple of the first 12 issues. I thought were very decent. And then, like I said, the story arc before this was a little lackluster, and I was like, I don't care. And then this one, I was like, oh my gosh! I remember I even thought, if this is what X-Wing Rogue Squadron is going to be, I may stop. I mean, I almost thought about quitting the series. If Stackpole's name hadn't have been on it, on this 4-issue story arc, I probably would have quit the series. I was like, oh, okay, obviously Stackpole wouldn't give this idea. But he gave the thumbs up for this idea, or at least had some part. Maybe even he wrote some of it. And I don't know why or what he was thinking, because it feels nothing, absolutely nothing like Star Wars in general, but Rogue Squadron. I'm not kidding about the pop-off hand choking someone that actually happened, because, ooh, Sith magic and everything. So anyway, folks, that's all the time I have for now. See you next time with another video.